Glad to see everybody is happy. It seems the Dhamma is with everyone, very energetic. So we are going to start a very precious day that will be going to worth more than billions of dollars. So, so we begin with page 110, that at the middle there we have Dwara Sangha. No, the Dwara means the sense door. We have 6 sense doors through which the sense objects enter into the mind. Now, what are the 6 dwara? Now, we can read from the book there. Number 1 is Chakhu dwara, the eye door. And we say Chakhu pasada. So, now the words in the bracket, they refer to the ultimate reality. Now, we say the essential element, or the ultimate reality that represents the eye door. So when we say the eye door, no, you may ask, no, what do you mean by the eye door? It is the whole eye? No, it is not the whole eye. Only the Chakhu pasada. No, Chakhu means eye. Pasada means the clear matter. The clear matter in the eye. The clear sensitive matter. That is pasada. No, we call pasada rupa. So in our pupil there, we have clear sensitive matter where the images are reflected over there. So that is the eye door. The sense object, they enter the mind from that door. The same thing with Sota Dwara, the ear door, is the Sota Pasada. The Sota Pasada, the sensitive matter, the sensitive clear matter in the ear. So the medical people, they say, your eardrum is responsible to hearing because you have the vibration of the sounds there. But still in that eardrum, there is this Sota Pasada, clear matter. In meditation, you can see this, the Chakku Pasada, Sota Pasada as clear matter. You can see them. So as they are observed as clear matter, the Buddha called them Chakku Pasada, the clear matter in the eye. Sota Pasada, the clear matter in the ear. Then you can go on. Sota Pasada, there will be the nose door. And Jiva Pasada, Kaya Pasada, there are 5. So you can go on. Number 3, Ghana Dwara is the nose door that represents the Ghana Pasada. And the Jiva Dwara is the tongue door. So it is the Jiva Pasada. Kaya Dwara is the body door. It is the Kaya Pasada. And Mano Dwara, the mind door. Mano is the mind. So the 19 Bhavinga Chaitas, we say each one has one type of Bhavinga Chaita. So the Bhavinga Chaita, we call the life continuum, they arise in you all the time when you are not aware of any other external sense object. So that Bhavinga Chaita, your life continuum, serves as the mind door. Serves as the mind door. So we have the name of Dwaras here. So you can see. Now, can you name the Dwaras in Pali? Chakhu Dwara, Sota Dwara, Ghana Dwara, Jiva Dwara, Kaya Dwara. These are Rupa Pancha Dwara. Rupa, they are material doors. They are material sense door. And the Manodwara is the mind door. So it is the Nama. And you will see later, this mind door is much, much more powerful than these material doors. You will see that. So we have 6 sense doors. Now, we can go to the next topic on page 111. The chaitas that in each door. So, there we see in number 1 there, 46 chaitas arise at the eye door. So when we say like that, you should not take that all these 46 chaitas arise in the eye door. It's not that. What we mean here is, when a visible object appears in the eye door, these 46 chaitas can arise. That's what we mean. So, you will see there, the first chaita is Pancha Dwara Vachana, apprehending or confronting, paying attention to the sense object. So yesterday we see when a sense object appears in one of the doors, you have to start with the avachana function. Kicha is function. No, this avachana is, we say, apprehending or paying attention to the sense object. Or you also call it adverting. No, adverting or directing your mind towards the object. So you always begin with this. Now, if the sense object appears in one of the 5 doors, it would be pancha dwara vachana. No, that will perform this function. So you begin with pancha dwara vachana here. So after that, you go to the next function. So what will be that? Since you are paying attention to the object that appears in the eye, so you have to do seeing function. So this dasana, teacher or seeing function, is performed by chakku viññāna. So there you see chakku viññāna there. There is a seeing function. So after that, where do you go? After seeing it, that eye consciousness will dissolve. So it has to transmit this, the image to the next teacher. So you go to sampadichana, receiving function, and that would be done by these 3 sampadichana, the 2 sampadichana chitta. So there also you should know that 2 sampadichana chitta will not arise at the same time. No, only one chitta will arise, depending on the sense object. If the sense object is disagreeable, not pleasant, so it would be akusala vipaka. So only that time akusala vipaka, chakku viññāna will arise, followed by akusala vipaka, sampadichana, santirana. So all of these are akusala vipaka. When the sense object is pleasant, we say it is the kusala vipaka, the resultant of the good karma. So at that time, kusala vipaka, chakku viññāna, sampadichana, santirana will arise. Alright? So here what we give the number is the total chitta that can arise. So we say 2 chakku viññāna, 2 sampadichana chitta. And the next would be the santirana, investigating function. And it is performed by these 3 santirana chitta, whatever the condition may be there. So you know that when it is quite just fairly pleasant, you get upekha santirana, the kusala vipaka. When the sense object is very, very pleasant, very good, so at that time you have somanasa santirana, investigating the sense object. So one of the 3 santirana will perform this investigating function. Okay? Then the next, then what do you get? After investigating, Vipassana will make the decision. And it is performed by manodwara vachana. So manodwara vachana will make the decision. So there's an error in the book there. So before or after manodwara vachana, they say deterring. Not deterring, you should say it determining. You change R into M-I-N. You change the second R into M-I-N, determining. So manodwara vachana will arise. Okay? Then, you see from here, after you make the decision, you enjoy the sense object. So the javana, these are the chitta that enjoy the sense object. So again, one of the 29 kama javana will arise. So we have told you, you can divide the 55 javanas into 29 kama javana chitta and the 26 apana javana. These are jhana, mekka and phala. Only when you get jhana, mekka and phala, the javana chitta will arise. So at ordinary cases, like awareness of the senses, only one of the 29 javana chitta will arise. Okay? Only one at a time. Not 2 chitta can arise at the same time. So whatever is your decision, when you see, it's very pleasant, it's nice, to see it, to get it, so lobha mula chitta will go there. Will arise at that time. When you say, it's terrible, I don't like it, then dosa mula chitta will arise at the jhana. So one at a time, but all together you take 29, up to 29 chitta, can participate that function. that function of jhana. Then it will be followed by the dhalamana, registering. So this one, no, there is finishing off. You register, so the finishing off. Actually, these dhalamana citta, no, they continue to enjoy the sense pleasure, the sense object. No, they follow the jhana and enjoy the sense pleasure. Then after that, finish. No more function. So when there's no more function, your regular bhavanga citta will carry on, will go on. No, when a sense object arises, so you begin with this process. Now soon this process is over, you have the regular bhavanga citta will flow on, we say. So bhavanga citta will be flowing on. No, between the times that you don't aware of any sense object. Okay? No? Alright. So, here the dhalamana citta, we see 8 here. Why do we see 8? Actually here there are 11 dhalamana citta. No, we say 8 here because this 3 santirana has already counted here. No, in the number 4 or number D santirana. No, you have taken 3 santirana already there. So you don't repeat them again. No, so we leave out this santirana. So we just mention these 8 mahavipaka. So we say the dhalamana 8. The dhalamana 8 refers to this 8 mahavipaka citta. So what is the total number of citta that can arise in the idol? 46. Okay, you get that? Alright? No? So if you get that, then for the next door, it will be the same. So when you go to number 2 below, 46 cittas arise at the ear door. The cittas are as in one, no, as above. Just change Chakhu Vinyana to Sota Vinyana, right? When you are examining or taking attention of the sense object that appears in the ear, no, that appear in the ear. So you begin the same procedure, Pancha Dvara Vachana. Now you have to take the hearing function that is performed the Sota Vinyana Dui. Instead of Chakhu Vinyana, you change into Sota Vinyana. And the rest would be the same. No? After hearing consciousness there, you will go on Sambhadechana, Sandirana, Vattapana, Javana, Tadalamana, the same thing, the same process. So the same citta. So you again have 46. So the same thing, 46 citta will arise in the nostril. Here you change to Ghana Vinyana, right? Then in the tongue door, same 46 cittas again, but you will have Jiva Vinyana this time. Now in the body door, when you have the touch or something like that, so again 46 citta with Kaya Vinyana. Okay? So we get the 5 doors. Now we can go to number 6. No, that is page 112, number 6. 67 cittas arise at the mind door. So, say like a thought object. You are thinking about your friend. So that thought will arise in the mind door, we say. Now the thought cannot arise in these 5 doors. They can arise only in the mind door. So when the thought arises in the mind door, you begin with this again. The same procedure, you have to begin with avachana. No? Apprehending it. No? Taking it into consideration. Taking it into attention. So this time, since it is the mind door, now pancha dvara vachana will not function. Mano dvara vachana will perform this avachana function. Okay. Now, this mano dvara vachana, it can perform 2 functions. No? It does the avachana, then vattapana. It determines whether it is good or bad. So it's very powerful. No? The mano dvara vachana is powerful. So it apprehends the sense object, and since it can be aware of the sense object, it decides, it straight away it decides whether the sense object is good or bad. So if it performs these 2 functions, so you skip these things now. So these things are not necessary now. After making the decision, you go on with the jhana. Since you already made the decision whether it's good or bad, then the jhana citta will arise to enjoy the sense. So here you have only 3 kinds of citta here. So there, A, mano dvara vachana, apprehending and determining, right? It performs 2 functions. Okay? Then after that you will get Kama Javana, perceiving or enjoying the sense pleasure. So, here in the mind door, not only the 29 Kama Javana, the 26 Apana Javana can also arise in the mind door. So, again, these 55 Javana Chitta will not arise at the same time. When you are enjoying the sense pleasure, the sense object, at that time Kama Javana will arise, just as before. One of the 29 Kama Javana will arise. But when you enter into the jhana, at that time the jhana Chitta will arise as Javana Chitta, as Javana. Okay? Now when you attain the Megha Chitta will arise as the jhana. Now when you go on to the Phala, when you go to the Phala Chitta, these, when you say Lokutra, these are Megha and Phala Chitta. They will function as Javana. So the jhana, Megha and Phala Javana also arise in the mind door. They arise in the mind door. So the total, when you are taking the total Chitta, that can arise in the mind door. So you take the whole 55 jhana Chitta, Javana Chitta. So we have 55 Javana Chitta. So after that, the Javana function will be followed by the Dhalamana. So in this case, you have to put in all the 11 the Dhalamana Chitta. So what is the total number that arises in the mind door? 67. 67. Okay? So you get that? Then we can go to the next question. No. Do we have something? Here. Oh, this one. There's not for cross-examination. So that's good. So here, this chat, it summarizes our statement there. So you can see these the 6 doors. The name of the doors are given here. And these are 89 Chittas in brief. So we say, now Chakku Dwara, when the sense object appears in the eye door, what will be the Chitta that will arise? So you are considering with the Chakku Dwara. So we say you begin with Pancha Dwara Vachana. Then you get the 2 Chakku Vijnana, the Chakku Vijnana. Then you go to the Sampadicana. Chakku Vijnana, then you go to 2 Sampadicana, 3 Santirana, and 1 Vattapana, and then 29 Kama Javana, then 8 the Dhalamana. We have already said you get 46. The same thing with the Sota Dwara. Here you will get, now what are the Chitta that arise in the Sota Dwara? Please say. Because I'm just one saying. I do not know whether you get it or not. So better you say it now. Okay. What will be the Chitta that arise in the Sota Dwara? Don't look at in your book. You just say from here. Okay. What are they? You begin with Pancha Dwara Vachana, 2 Sota Vijnana, 2 Sampadicana. So after that you go to Sampadicana. Then 3 Santirana, 1 Vattapana, 29 Kama Javana, and 8 the Dhalamana. So you get 46 again for the total. When you go to the Ghana Dwara, you put in Ghana Vijnana. For Jiva Dwara, you put in Jiva Vijnana. And for Kaya Dwara, you put in Kaya Vijnana. Now, what are the total number of Chittas that appear in these 5 doors? So that's a good question. So, how many? Oh, you just add this up. You just add this up. Now for each door, we say you get 46. Now for the other 4 doors, you have to put in this 8 Chitta. You add 8 to 46. What do you get? 54. Do you know what are those 54 Chitta? What are these 54 Chittas? They are the 54 Kama Vachara Chitta. So, these 54 Kama Vachara Chitta, they arise in the 5 doors. So we say they arise most often no, in us, in the karma sphere. So they are called karma vachara. Okay. Now, for the mind door, what are the chaitas, no, that arise in the mind door? So you begin here, but you begin with manodwara. So we have here the vattabana, so you should take it as manodwara vachana. Then, after vattabana, what do you get? Javana and dadalamana. So, 55 javana chaitas, no, both karma and apana javana. You get all the 55. And the 11, dadalamana, total 67. Now, there's one more here. No, we say the dwara vimuk. No, vimuk means vimuktik. Actually, if you put in ti, that would be better. No, so usually in Myanmar, we just call them dwara vimuk. So it means the dwara vimuktik. Vimuktik means no, free or escape, free. No, so we call this door free chaita. No, door free means they do not appear at any door. They don't appear at any door. So what are these chaita? No, they are 19. So they say according to this table or chart, they are the 2 upika sandirana chaita. The 8, the dalamana chaita. No, you already take sandirana here. So you don't repeat sandirana again here. So you take 8, the dalamana, and the 9 mahekata. 19 of them. You remember what are these 19 chaitas? These are this one. No, the same one. So those chaita, you can see here, 2 upeka sandirana, 8 mahavipaka, 9 mahakata vipaka. They perform the function of patisanti, bhavinga, and chuti. So, no, these chaitas, they do not appear in the door, in any door. They don't appear at any door. So we are not aware of them. No, they do not appear at any door. They are not processed according to this series. So we cannot know them. No, so on page 12, no, at the bottom there, number 6 there, no, I give that remark to you. The 19 patisanti chaitas, the 19 bhavinga chaitas, and the 19 chuti chaitas are called dwara vimukti. No, that means door free. Now, I also gave you the reason there. 1, they do not arise in any of the sense doors, such as the eye door, the ear door. They don't arise. Number 2, bhavinga chaitas themselves serve as the mind door. And 3, they exist without perceiving any new external object pertaining to the present life. So we are concerned to be aware of the present existence only. No, we are not supposed to know the past, the past sense object. If you know the past sense object, that will interfere with your present awareness, the present sense object. So you need not do it. So because of that, they are door free. So this is what the chart says now. So again, we make the statistics. So if some Pancha Dwara Vachana, they appear in all the 5 doors. So we say here 5. That is the number of doors where they can appear. Like the Chakku Vijnana, they appear only in the eye door, only in 1 door. So you just put 1, 1, 1. Now if they appear in 5 doors, you put 5. If they appear in all the 6 doors, you put 6. If they appear always in the 6th door, you say 6 always. And some appear only sometime. So we put this remark. And from this, we give you this question now. What are the chaitas that appear only in 1 door? And appear in a single door, you might say. So there are 36 chaitas that appear in a single door. What are they? So you can see the 1, 1, 1 here. So these are the 10 Dvipancha Vijnana, right? They appear only in each door, right? And you have 26 Jhana Chaita that appears only in the mind door. So 10 plus 26, you get 36. Now what are the Chaita that appear in 5 doors? There are 3 Chaitas. Can you find that? What are they? What are they? So you can find here 5, Pancha Dwara Vachana and Sampadechana. They appear in all the 5 doors, right? Now, What are the chaitas that always appear in the 6 doors? Okay, we say 31. So you just look at the 6 always here. So, Manasa Santirana Chaita, and Vattapana Chaita, and the 29 Kama Javana Chaitas. So you get 31. Now there are 10 chaitas that appear in the 6 doors sometime, not always. No? So we say, what are they? No? Here, you have the 2 Upekha Sandirana Chaita and the 8 Tadalamana Chaitas. These 10 chaitas, they appear in the 6 doors sometimes, but not always. Why? Now when they perform the Patisanti, Bhavana, Bhavanga and Chuti function, so these are the 10. These are the 10. The 2 Upekha Sandirana and the 8 Mahavipaka. When they perform one of these functions, now these 10 do not appear in any sense of sense door. Just like here we say, among the doorway, among Dwara Vimoti, here, the 2 Upekha Sandirana and the 8, the Dalamana. No? So they are door-free when they perform one of these functions. Alright? But they can also perform other functions. Like Santirana would perform Santirana function. No? Here, Santirana function. So it appears in the 5 doors. And when it performs the Tadalamana function, it appears. And when it performs the Tadalamana function, it appears in all the 6 doors. Right? And again with the 8 Mahavipaka, no? In addition to these 3 functions, it's also performed the Dalamana. So when it performs the Dalamana function, it appears in all the 6 doors. These are the 5 doors, this is the mind door. So they appear in the 6 doors sometimes, we say. Alright? So there are 9 chaita that are door-free. Always door-free. Never appear in the doors. What are they? So you can see here, no, that's the 6 door-free. The 9 Mahakata Vipaka chaita. Why? Why they are always door-free? Because no, they perform only this function. When they perform this function, we say they don't appear in the door. And they don't perform other functions. So they are always door-free. Okay? So, it's not very, very difficult question. No? Very easy. So let's go to the next topic. We call Alambana Sangaha. No, you can look at your book there. Alambana or Aramana. No, Aramana means sense object. No, both these words. Alambana or Aramana, they means sense object. Chaita and Chaitasikas will be compiled briefly here in accordance with the sense objects. So we describe the 6 sense objects first now. Now what are they? You can read. Rupa Ramana, visible object. Rupa or Vana. Again, those words in the bracket. No, they refer to the ultimate Rupa that represent visible object. Now when we say visible object, no? So what do you mean by the visible object? No, the whole of my body and mind? No, it is not that. No, so only Rupa or Vana. No, Vana is the appearance. Only the appearance. So, no, there is these Rupa or Vana. They are ultimate Rupa. No, they refer to ultimate Rupa. Similarly, Saddha Ramana. They are the sound. No, so again, we say Saddha. No, the ultimate Rupa that represents the sound is called Saddha. No, Saddha. And number 3, Gandha Ramana. No? Now you get Rupa Ramana. Actually, that Rupa, no, you have to put A long. So they don't have A long there. Rupa Ramana, Saddha Ramana, Gandha Ramana, Rasa Ramana, Puttaba Ramana, Dhamma Ramana. No? Because when you combine the Rupa and Aramana, actually you are combining Rupa and Aramana. It should be Rupa Ramana. No, it should become Rupa Ramana. The same thing. So when you combine Saddha and Aramana, it becomes Saddha Ramana. No, that is the way the Pali words are spelled. So you need the ba over there. So Gandha Ramana is the smell. So the ultimate Rupa for smell is Gandha. And Rasa Ramana is the taste, and we call it Rasa. And Pottabha Ramana, the tangible object. And the ultimate reality, the stand for the tangible object is Patavi, Vayo, and Tejo. No, so you are a little familiar with Patavi. No, Patavi is hardness and softness. So when you feel in the forehead is hard. Now in the dimple there is soft. So that hardness and softness that you can feel, and that represents Patavi. No, and Tejo is hotness or coolness. That represents Tejo. And you have the Vayo. Vayo is the pushing, we say. Pushing and supporting. No, when you press it, there's pushing and supporting. That is Vayo. So the Pottabha Ramana, the tangible object, represents three ultimate Rupa. Patavi, Vayo, and Tejo. Now, these five sense objects are common. No? Common. We are aware of them. No? We know them. Now, the sixth sense object is quite exceptional here. Now we call it Dhamma Ramana. No, it's the mind object. Now you read in the next paragraph. Now this mind object is sixfold, we say. So it includes six kinds of object. One is five pasada rupa, sensitive parts of the organ. So that five pasada rupa you have already seen. No, we say chakku pasada, sota pasada, gana pasada. No, that represent the five sense door. So you can see this clear matter, pasada rupa, because they can appear in the mind door. When they can appear in the mind door, you can see it with the mind, with the mind chaita that arise, like the 67 chaita. We say the mano dvara chaita. You can see with them. The same thing. Number two is 16 sukhu. When we say sukhuma rupa, same thing. Number two is 16 sukhuma rupa. Why do we when we say sukhuma rupa? That means subtle matter. So there are two kinds of matter, gross and subtle. So the gross matter represents the first five sense objects. Sense object number 1 to 5. They represent 12 gross rupa. Now you can see those 12 rupa. What are the 12 rupa? The Rupa Ramana is Vanna. You take Vanna. And the second one is Sattva, Gandha, Rasa. Okay, you get the four there. And for the tangible object, you have to take Patavi, Vayo, Tejo. So you get 7 ultimate Rupa there, right? Okay? So these 7 Rupa, Rupa means matter. These 7 kinds of matter you can see, you can hear. You can be aware. These 5 senses, they represent the 5 senses. Then you combine that with the 5 pasada rupa. You get 12. 5 pasada and those 7 rupa. So these 12 rupas, they are called gross rupa because they can be easily understood. Like the 5 sense objects, we can be aware of them. So they are very distinct, it's very clear. So we say they are gross matter. And also when we say the clear rupa in the eye, so you can be aware of that. You can know that. So the 5 pasada and this 7 rupa, the 12 of them are called, we call them Olarika. So we will come later on when we come to the rupa. So we have to wait for next year for that. So don't worry here. I'm just trying to give you some some information that you should know. I'd like you to know. These 28 rupa, now you get 12 gross rupa. You combine with the 16 subtle rupa here, so they becomes 28.
No? So all the 28 kinds of matter, no? They are represented in the 6 senses. No? When we say 6 kinds of the sense objects, so they include all these 28 matter, right? Now, we go on. Now, number 3 is 89 chaitas. That means all consciousness can appear in the mind door. If they appear in the mind door, you can see them. Now, with the mind door chaitas. You can see them with the mind door chaita. And again, number 4 is 52 chaitasikas, the mental concomitant. So they can also appear in the mind door. So they can also be observed. No, that's why I tell you, Chitta and Cetasika can be observed according to Abhidhamma. No, Abhidhamma say they can be observed. But you have to observe them, no, with the Chitta that has the power, no, to see or to observe this thing. No, you have to observe with that power. No, otherwise you cannot see. Just like if you want to see bacteria in a drop of blood, the blood from a person who suffers from malaria, then by looking at the blood, you cannot see any bacteria, no, because your eye is not capable to see that. But when you enlarge it, no, with the microscope, you can see it. So the same thing, you need the power to see it. No, so here you need the concentration. No, when you get the concentration, you can see them. So, and 4 is 52 chaitasikas, and the next one is Nibbana. So, actually, Nibbana is the finest sense object, the finest, the subtlest, nothing more subtle than Nibbana. So, Nibbana can be seen, can be realized, can be observed by Megha Chaitas and Phala Chaitas. So, even if Nibbana can be observed, why don't Chitta and Ceitasikas be observed? No, so you can have the very rational thinking. So when people, when they don't believe, oh, you cannot see the Chitta and Cetasika, Abhidhamma say you can see them. No? So if still you don't believe, come to our meditation center. So you're welcome. Anytime. The center is open all the time. No, all the time. Any time you can come. Any time of the year. Any time of the day. We will accept you. No, if you arrive at midnight, it's all right for us. No, you are willingly welcome. So, no, we are poor in money, but we are very rich in the sattva. Okay. Now, there's the 6th type of objects again. There we say concept. No, concepts such as kasina namitta. No, so when you undertake kasina meditation, we tell you first with open eye you observe the earth disk. No, you may reflect patavi. Now when you get a certain concentration, we ask you to close your eyes. Now when you close your eyes, you can see that earth disk clearly as you have seen it with open eye. So, with closed eye, you are seeing that. So, that is called concept. No, those are concepts. So, concepts, actually, they don't represent anything. No, concept is just concept. no matter, no chitta in there. So, it is just, nothing. It is nothing, but you can see it. This concept. So, concept can also be seen by, can appear in the mind door. So we see them, since they appear in the mind door. So when you take the 6 sense objects, these 6 sense objects, they include all matter. So I also explained to you, they include all the 28 types of matter. They also include all chaitas. They include all chaitasikas. And they include nibbana and concepts. So that means everything in the universe and outside the universe. Everything. All paramattha. You can see all paramattha. Rupa, Chitta, Cetasika, Nibbana. These are the ultimate realities. All of them are included here. And it also includes the concepts. no, the concepts. So everything, no, are included in the six sense object, and they are visible. They can be known. No, so if you have, the mind is very strong, very powerful. It can be aware of everything in the universe. Okay. So if you look at the dictionary, now any dictionary you will see there they will describe the five senses. No, because people are aware only the five senses. They don't know the Dhamma Ramana, the Dhamma Ramana, no, the mind object. They don't know the mind object exists. No, so the mind object, no, it does exist. So they have another word in the dictionary. They say the sixth sense. No, you have the sixth sense. They say that does not mean the sixth sense object. It does not mean to that. No, when you say you have the sixth sense, you have some vision of that. So that is like another property, like the Abhidhamma. Okay. Now, after describing the six sense objects, we go to the next page. The page 140. The citas and sense objects according to Theo. Now, we can read number 1. The 46 citas that arise at the eye door are known as Chakku Dwarika citas. They are aware of the present and visible object only. So you should coordinate with this statement. Now we say 46 citas can arise in the eye door. So these 46 citas that arise in the eye door are called Chakku Dwarika citas. In Pali, Chakku Dwarika citas. They are aware of only the present visible object. So number 2 would say the 46 citas that arise in the ear door. So what would you call them? Sota Dwarika citas. They will be aware of only the present sound. And the 46 at the nose door, you will call them Gana Dwarika citas. They will be aware of only the present smell. And the 46 citas in the tongue door, you will call them Jiva Dwarika citas. They will be aware of only the present taste. And the 46 citas in the body door, you call them the Kaya Dwarika citas. They are aware of only the present tangible object, the present touch. So in these 5 doors, only present sense objects can be aware, can be cognized. Now, if you look at number 6, on page 14, now, what does number 6 say? The 67 citas. They are aware of all the 6 sense objects which may be present, past, future, or independent of time. So if you consider that statement, that statement is very, very marvelous. Very, very marvelous. So the mind door is very, very powerful. It can be aware of all these 6 types of sense objects. So according to this statement, the mind door citta, you call them Manodwarika citta, the 67, these 67. So they can be aware of the citta, cittasikas, nibbana, and the concept. So they can be aware according to this statement. Not only that, not only the present objects, but also the past objects, the future objects, and which are the objects that are independent of time. Well, so it is very marvelous. Many people would say, oh, the first sense objects, they already dissolved. How can you be aware of them? Well, now you close your eyes and think of the Pitruna's travels. Don't you see them? Don't you see them? Why did you see them? But because they are already recorded in your mind, you have seen it. So you can recall this. You can recall this. Just like you have taken a photograph. And you can see this photograph. You can look it back. Now you have the video camera. So you can see the living things again in the video camera. So even science can produce you the past records. No, so the mind record is very powerful, no, powerful, more powerful than the scientific records. So you can see them. No, so after watching a movie, so you reflect on them again, not from beginning to end, while you sleep. So that means you are looking back at that. So you can see the past objects. Now, more marvelous is you can see the future objects. How can that be? No, the future does not arise yet. How can you see that? Well, like in science, no, we can say now by studying the movement of the earth and the moon and the sun, no, the relative movement, by you studying them, you can make forecast. At what time you will get the solar eclipse? No? So whenever, what time you will get the moon eclipse, you can tell in advance. No? So for those who do not know these mathematics, no, and the regular, no, the procedure here, for them, how can you know no, the solar eclipse or no, the moon eclipse will arise in such and such day at such and such minute and second, exactly you can tell them. But when you know the mathematics, it becomes easy. No, the same thing. No, with we say there's supernormal power. We call anagatamsa apinya. No, that can be aware of the future. No, the future events. What will happen? No, next year, next 20 years. No, you can know in ahead. So of course, if you get that, no, you can play the stock and share very well. So you don't have to do anything. You will be a billion and billion. So there is no such opinion. There is such opinion. So if you are interested, again come to our meditation. And not the best example is illustrated by Dipengara Buddha. No, when you read about our Bodhisattva, no, in the existence of Sumedha, now he lie prostrate on the ground, no, with hands raised, and he was wishing to become a Buddha. No? So Buddha Dipengara, no, try to see whether this Bodhisattva would really become a Buddha. When would he become a Buddha? So he looked at the future there, not in this, no, in the present universe, but in the future universe. So many universes he passed by. So he say, after 4 asankhya and 100,000 world cycles, you will become a Buddha. No, in this, no, Pattakapa we call this world, by the name of Gautama Buddha. Your parents would be King Suddhodana and Mahamaya Devi. And your 2 chief disciples are Sariputta and Moggallana. So he said everything in detail. How could he see that? No, say 4 asankhya. No, 1 asankhya means incalculable number of worlds, no, between 2 Buddhas. So, no, according to this, you should be aware there are many worlds the Buddha did not appear at all. So, no, an incalculable number of worlds is called 1 asankhya. So 4 asankhya and 100,000 world cycles, no, in the future, then you will become a Buddha. So, how could you understand it? We could not understand. No, so the Buddha said, this abhinya, this very high knowledge, you are just kindergarten. You are in the kindergarten class. You cannot know this. That's true. So, no, when you yourself can develop this opinion, then you can know. No, you can know. So we better stop there. Okay? So there are 6 sense objects, no? And we go to the next topic there. Individual objects and sense objects. So here, we have Ichat here. We have Ichat here. So this chart will describe that different citas have different power of observing sense object. They don't have the same power. They have different powers. So the reading of the chart is given here. In this book, we give you the reading of this chart here. Now, if you read number 1, please read first. Chakku Vijnana Dvi are aware of the present visible object only. Sota Vijnana Dvi are aware of the present sound only. Now you can go on. What is good in Abhidhamma? If you know one thing, then the rest are the same. So here we have chat number 5. We call Aramana Sangaha chat. So the Aramana, you remember? Aramana means sense object. So the sense object, this serves as the cause. Paccaya means the cause. So the sense object serves as the cause, and based on this cause, you get the effect. So Paccayoppanna means the effect of the Paccaya, and what you get we call Aramanika Chaita, the Chaita that awares of the sense object. So what we just read here, the present visible object will be observed by the Chakku Vijnana Dvi. So according to our reading there, we say the 2 eye consciousness, they are aware of the present visible object only. Now you can go on. The Sota Vijnana Dvi, they will be aware of the present sound. Ghana Vijnana Dvi, they will be aware of the present smell. Jiva Vijnana Dvi, they will present taste. And Kaya Vijnana Dvi, they will be aware of the present tangible object. So these 10 citas, they are aware of the present 5 sense objects. Now you go to the next. The 3 Manodhatu. Now, the Manodhatu means the mind element. They represent Pancha Dwara Vachana and the 2 Sampatichana. So remember, this Pancha Dwara Vachana and the 2 Sampatichana, they are known as the mind element. The mind element, Manodhatu. Now, since they arise in all the 5 doors, they are aware of all the 5 sense objects. So here we say, these Manodhatu, they are aware of all the present 5 sense objects. Then you go to the next one. Tada Lamana Chaitas, 11 of them. These 11, Tada Lamana Chaitas. And the Hasitupada, the 12 Chaitas, they are aware of 6 karma sense objects, we say. So, these 6 karma sense objects comprise 54 karma vajra chaitas and 52 chaitasikas associated with this chaita, and also the 28 types of rupa. So when you take all the 28 types of rupa, it also includes the subtle rupa that represent the mind object. And Chaita and Jaitasika, they belong to the mind object. So in addition to these 5 sense objects, they also are aware of the mind object, part of the mind object, not all the mind object, right? So we say they are aware of 6 karma sense objects. That means this sense object comprise only to the karma chaita and Jaitasika. So we call them karma sense object. Okay? That should be clear? No? Okay. Now, you combine these 3 groups, 10, 3, 12, they make 25. So we say these 25 chaitas are karma ekan. This should be A, no E, should be E here. Karma ekan. Ekan means 1. So they take only one sense object, one type of sense object. That is the karma sense object. All these are the karma sense object. So we call them these 25 chaitas. There are 25 chaitas. that are aware of only the karma sense object. What are they? Then you can mention this name. Then you go and you go down. No? So you can read the 12 akusala citta and mahakusala jnana vibhuta 4. And also 4 mahakriya jnana vibhuta citta. Altogether you get 20. These 20 cittas, they are aware of 6 lokiya sense objects. So when we say lokiya, they comprise all the lokiya cittas and the cetasikas associated with them, all rupas and also concepts. So they also take the 6 sense objects, including the lokiya cittas. So we call them lokiya, 6 lokiya sense objects. Now you go down. The mahakusala jnana sampayutta, there are 4 of them. No, the mahakusala jnana sampayutta, the 4 of them. And the rupa kusala abhiññāna, so that represents this citta. When we put the abhin there, that means abhiññā. When the abhiññā, supernormal knowledge, is associated with the 5th jhana, so we call it the abhiññā, rupa kusala abhiññā citta. So these 5 cittas, they are aware of all 6 sense objects except arhata megha and arhata phala. So we have here all cittas except arhata megha and arhata phala. And the cetasika associated with them, all the 28 types of rupa and all concepts, and also nibbana. These 5 cittas, they can be aware of nibbana also. Now if you go down, mahakriya jnana sambhyuta cittas, so the cittas that arise only in arahats, you take the 4 jnana sambhyuta, mahakriya citta. And the kriya abhiññāna. So for arahats, they develop abhiññā based on this 5th rupa vachara kriya citta. So we call it the kriya abhiññā citta. And manodvara vachana, these 6 citta, they can be aware of all 6 sense objects, comprising all cittas, all cetasikas, all rupa, all concepts, and nibbana. Now, so if you take these 3 groups, they amount to 31. We call them kama, mahekata, concepts, anekan. When we say anekan, they are aware of more than one type of sense object. If they are aware of only one type, you say ekan. So anekan means many, many sense objects. So they can be aware of the kama objects, mahekata objects. Mahekata objects mean the mahekata citta and cetasika. So this mahekata citta and cetasika, they are called mahekata objects. And concepts, they can be aware of the concepts also. So they are anekan citta. Now, this 5 and 6, they also observe nibbana. So we call this 11 nibbana anekan citta. Nibbana anekan citta means they are aware of nibbana as well as other sense objects. Okay? Now you can go down again. The 15 rupa vachara cittas, abhiññāna dvi accepted. You have already taken the abhiññāna dvi. So the 15 rupa vachara citta, they are aware of only concepts. The concepts are included in the Dhamma ramana, that is the mind object. And these are the jhana cittas. So they take the concepts, which derive from these 26 kammatthana. So these are 26 subjects of meditation that can develop the rupa vachara jhana cittas. Now what are they? The 10 kasina, the 10 types of asubha, and kaya kata sati, Anapana sati, and Brahma vihara, the 4 Brahma vihara, the sublime living. So these 26, the the subjects of meditation can give rise to these 15 Rupa Vajra Citta, and these Citta, they take the concept or the signs produced from these meditation. And again, of the 12 Arupa Vajra Cittas, the 3 Akasananchayarana Citta, they are also aware of only concept, and that concept is Akasa, space. So, I tell you, when you go to the Arupa Vajra Citta, you have to observe Akasa, space, to develop the Arupa Vajra, the first Kusala Citta. What do you call it? Akasananchayarana Kusala Citta. Now, if this Citta takes place as its object, its resultant, Akasananchayarana Vipaka Citta also takes place as its object. They have the same object. Now for the Arahats, when they develop the Arupa Jhana, they also have to take that space as the object of meditation. So this Akasananchayarana Kriya Citta also observed or takes place as its object. So we say 3 Akasananchayarana Citta, right? So the 3 Akasananchayarana Citta, they take Akasa as their object. So, and the 3 Akinchanyayarana Citta. So the 3 Akinchanya. Akinchanya means nothingness. So they take nothingness as their object. So we say Nati Kenchi, which means nothingness, these 3. So, these 6 Arupa Citta also takes the concepts for their object. So if you combine 15 and 6, you get 21. We call them Panyati Ekan. Panyati means concept. So concepts, in Pali we call Panyati. So they are aware of only the concept, this 21. Now, 3 Vinyananchayarana Citta. So, you get the Vinyananchayarana Citta here. What is the object of this Citta? So, that's a good question again. So, I say, I better don't ask the questions. So, this Vinyananchayarana Citta takes Akasananchayarana Citta as its object. After you develop Akasananchayarana Citta, you take that Citta as the object and you meditate on. Vijnana, you meditate. So when you attain the jhana, we call it Vinyananchayarana Citta. So that, the Akasananchayarana Citta is Mahekata Citta. So we say it takes the Mahekata object. The same thing with the Nivasanya. When you develop Nivasanya Sanyayana Jhana, you have to take the Akinchanyayana Citta as the object. So, we say these 3 Vinyananchayarana Citta, they take Akasananchayarana Citta as its object. And 3 Nivasanyana Sanyayarana Citta, they take the Akinchanyayarana Citta. So, if you are not Arahat, you would take the Kusala Citta as the object. If you are an Arahat, you would take the Kariya Citta as the object. So, these 6 Cittas, they take Mahekata object. So, we call them Mahekata Ekan. The 6 are Mahekata Ekan. And the 8 Lokuttara Cittas, they take Nibbana as their object. So, we call them Nibbana Ekan, because they take only Nibbana, no other objects. So, how many Cittas are there that are aware of Nibbana? So you have Nibbana Ekan 8 and Nibbana Anekan 11. So there are 19 Cittas that can be aware of Nibbana. And we have the 19 Cittas, which perform the Patisanti, Bhavenga and Chuti, functions, these 90. So these 19 Patisanti Citta, and the 19 Bhavinga Chaita, and the 19 Chuti Chaitas, they take the past karma, or karma nimitta, or gati nimitta, which actually comprise all the 6 sense objects as their object. So I will explain to you, about this in the next chapter. So you get this chart. So this chart describes various chaita and the objects that they can take. So it's very good chart for that. Now let's go to the next topic, Vatu Sangaha. Now what does Vatu mean? Vatu means the physical base, depending on which the various chaitas and the associated chaitasikas arise. There are 6 such physical bases. Please read them. Chakku Vatu, Chakku Pasada, the eye sense organ. Sota Vatu, Sota Pasada, the ear sense organ. Gana Vatu, Gana Pasada, the nose sense organ. Jiva Vatu, Jiva Pasada, the tongue sense organ. Kaya Vatu, Kaya Pasada, body sense organ. Hadya Vatu, physical base that exists in the blood of the heart. So we call them the heart-based. So these are the bases. Actually, all of them are material bases. The chaitas and chaitasikas has to depend on this physical basis for their arising. So without the help of this, the basis, the chaita and chaitasika cannot arise. So in this respect, we compare chaita and chaitasikas to an invalid person. Now, when that invalid person is in bed, he could not get up by himself. He did not get up by himself. He is too weak. Now, if you put a rope line, so he may pull the rope and he can sit up. And if you give him some support, like the walking stick, so if you give them with that support, he may be able to stand up. So the chaita and chaitasika are just this invalid person. They cannot get up, arise by themselves. They have to pull on the sense object. You need the sense object, for them to pull on. And they need the support, the support of the physical base for their arising. So the aramana, the sense object, and the physical basis are required for their arising. So we say there are 6 physical bases. And the first 5, they are the 5 pasada rupa. They are again the 5 pasada rupa. So the 5 sense doors, they also represent the 5 pasada. Now the 5 physical bases, they are also again the 5 pasada. So you may ask, now chakku pasada, the clear sensitive matter in the eye. So it is the eye door as well as the eye base. So we can call this the eye base because the physical base in the eye. That means the eye base. So how can it be? Well, you can see the visible object appears in the chakku pasada. So because the visible object appears in the chakku pasada, you call chakku pasada as the eye door. Now, we say the visible object is the striking element. And this eye base, the chakku pasada, is the receiving element. Now, when you get the contact there, the eye consciousness arises as the resultant. So that eye consciousness, it does arise at the point of contact of the sense object with the pasada rupa. So, which physical base it must depend on for its arising. This chakku viññāna, the eye consciousness, it arises at the point of contact, I say, of the Chakkuprasada and the visible object. So, which physical base this Chakku Vijnana will depend on? Since it arises on Chakkuprasada, it will depend on the Chakkuprasada. So, the Chakkuprasada is the place where the visible object appears. So you call it idol. And the Chakkuprasada is the base that support Chakku Vijnana to arise. So Chakkuprasada serves both as the idol and the eye base. The same thing. Sotaprasada will serve as the ear door as well as the ear base, and Ganaprasada, the nose door and the nose base, and Jivaprasada, the tongue door and the tongue base, and Kaya Prasada, the body door and the body base. So, you are aware of the sense object, the touch, wherever you touch. So, according to my description, the Kaya Vijnana, the body consciousness, will arise at the point of the touch. It will arise at the point of the touch. So, these 10 chitta, they arise in the eye, in the ear, in the nose, in the tongue, and in the whole body. These 10 chitta. And all the remaining chitta. How many remaining? 79. You subtract 10 from 89. So all the 79 chitta will depend on the heart base. So the heart base, we say the physical base, that exists in the blood of the heart. So in the blood of the heart, these physical bases exist. Now, all these physical bases, Pasada Rupa, and we call this the Hadya Vatu. This base is we call Hadya Vatu. So, these are produced by the karma. By the karma that conditions our existence. So, we call them Kamaja Rupa. So, they are being produced by karma every instant. Every moment they are arising and they dissolve, arising and dissolve. So they are present here. So there will be billions of Hadyavatu in your blood of the heart. So most of the mind, the chitta, they arise here. Only the Dvi Pancha Vijnana, the Dvi Pancha Vijnana, they arise here. Only the Dvi Pancha Vijnana, the Dvi Pancha Vijnana, they arise in these 5 bases. All the remaining in the heart base. So you can see Lopa Mula Chitta will arise where? On the heart base. So when the handsome lad, he pulls the hand of the beautiful maiden, how do they feel? So they feel some here in the heart. Because Lopa Mula Chitta arises in the heart. So you get the sensation in the heart. You get sensation in the heart. Now when you hear a loud bang, like an explosion, bang there. So what do you say? Oh, I have the scare here in the heart. Because Dosa Mula Chitta also arise in the heart. So most of the other chitta arise in your heart. Okay, you get the 6 bases now. Now, on page 117, here we have a chart on Bhumi here. So, you can read that later. We discuss here Vattu and Bhumi. So, Bhumi means the plane of existence. Now, number 1, in the 11 karma planes, that is the sense sphere, all the 6 bases, Vattu, exist. Now, how many Vattus exist in us? In you? How many Vattus do you have? You have all the 6. In the sense sphere, we have all the 6. Now, in number 2, we say, in the prime material sphere, that is Rupa Loka. That means in the Rupa Brahma. In the Rupa Brahma, there are only 3 physical bases. Namely, Chakku Vattu, Sota Vattu, and Hadya Vattu. So they have Chakku Vattu. If they have Chakku Vattu, they can have eye consciousness arising depending on that. So they have Chakku Vattu because they want to observe the Buddha, when the Buddha appears in the world. They also have Sota Vattu. because they like to listen to the Dhamma. And Hadyavatu is essential for the arising of all other chitta. They arise in Hadyavatu. So these three Vatu are present in the Rupa Brahma. They don't have the other three. They don't have the other three. So they don't have Ganavatu, Jivavatu, Kayavatu. So if they don't have this three, that means they can't get Gana Vinyana, the nose consciousness, the tongue consciousness, the body consciousness they can't have. So that implies they don't enjoy the smell, the taste, and the touch. They don't enjoy. Then in that case you may ask, then don't the Rupa Brahmas eat anything? Since they don't enjoy the taste, don't they eat anything? What do they? What do they? Well, you can suggest. Do they eat? No. So do they want to be Brahmas then? Because we have, we say rasa dhamma. We have clinging to the taste. Oh, if you have nothing to eat in the Dhamma, I won't go. But actually, they are enjoying greater bliss than the sensual bliss. So, if you can enjoy the jhana bliss, which is superior, without any trouble preparing the food, all those things, so it's actually better to be Brahma. And since they don't enjoy the touch, so you may inquire, don't they have any relation between the males and females? So what do you think? Again, no. Again, no. And they say, those Brahma, they don't have even the male organ and the female organ. They don't have in this organ. You don't need that. You don't need them. Since you don't eat anything, you don't drink anything, so you don't have to go to the latrine. Well, you should know that. So it's not necessary. So they don't appear. If they don't, you don't need them. And since they don't have any male or female organ, they are neither male or female. They look very big, they look like males, but they are neither male and female. So, why, you may ask, why don't they have these three Vatu? That is due to the power of meditation, we say. Due to the power of meditation. So, to become Brahma, you have to develop Rupa Jhana in the human world. So when you develop the Rupa Jhana, you have to undertake meditation. So we tell you during that meditation, if your mind wanders towards seven sense objects, you call it back. You don't let it go to the sense object. That means you ask your mind, don't enjoy the sense object, the sense pleasure anymore. So when you get the jhana, that means you are successful in training your mind not to enjoy the sense pleasure. So when you come to the Brahma, because of this karma makes you the Brahma now, you don't enjoy the sense pleasure there, because you already abandoned them. And of course they are very inferior, the bliss, the sense pleasure compared to the Brahma bliss. So they are not sorry, they just abandon it. So you go to number 3 there. Now in the immaterial sphere, there is arupa loka. Now no vatus exist because the sense pleasure compared to the Dhamma bliss. So they are not sorry, they just abandon it. So you go to number 3 there. Now in the immaterial sphere, there is arupa loka. Now no vatus exist because no corporeality exists there. Again, due to the meditation power of samatha bhavana to enter arupa jhana. So when you take meditation to develop arupa jhana, we say you have to abandon the rupa. You have to abandon the rupa. You don't look even at the sign associated with the kasina. You abandon it. So when you attain the arupa jhana, and because of that karma, you become arupa brahma, no material.
because you have already abandoned them. So no rupa in those Brahma. When there's no rupa, no physical basis, so they don't have any vatu. But they have the citta and cetasika. So we say in arupa Brahma, the citta and cetasika can arise in them without depending on any vatu. No? So you can see that. Then we can go to the next page. We say the vijnana dhatu. So vijnana means citta, consciousness. They are synonymous. Whereas dhatu means element. No? Literally it means element. What is the element? No? Means here is that which carries its own characteristic. So we say an element is neither a person nor a being. No? It is only that which bears its own characteristic. So if you see this as element, you are sure they are not living beings. They are just something that has their own property. So when we say the dhatu means just the element. So when you can see the whole body just made up of element, then you can destroy or abandon your personality belief, thinking this combination to be I. So here we say the vijnana dhatu. So you are dividing all the 1989 citta into 7 kinds of elements now. So number 1 we call chakku vijnana dhatu. So it comprises the 2 eye consciousness. They depend on chakku vatu for their arising. And again, number 2, the 2 ear consciousness is taken to be sota vijnana dhatu. They depend on sota vatu for their arising. And ghana vijnana dhatu means the 2 nose consciousness. They depend on ghana vatu for their arising. Number 4, jiva vijnana dhatu represents the 2 tongue consciousness. They depend on jiva vatu for their arising. And kaya vijnana dhatu means the 2 body consciousness. They depend on kaya vatu. Number 6 is mano dhatu. That comprises the pancha dvara vachana and the 2 sampadichana. They depend on hadya vatu for their arising. And mano vijnana dhatu, it comprises all the remaining 76 status, and they depend on hadya vatu for their arising. And the last chart we have there is shown here on this picture. We call vatu sangaha. Now there are 6 vatu. What are they? Chakku vatu, please say. Sota vatu, ghana vatu, jiva vatu, kaya vatu, and hadya vatu. Now these are the citta that depend on various vatu. Now of these, the 2 chakku vijnana citta, the 2 eye consciousness, they depend on chakku vatu. The 2 sota vijnana depend on sota vatu. 2 ghana vijnana depend on ghana vatu. 2 jiva vijnana depend on jiva vatu. And 2 kaya vijnana will depend on kaya vatu. So these 10 citta, they always depend on vatu for their arising. Now, there are 33 citta that always depend on hadya vatu. So you can read them from here. What are they? They are the 2 dosa mula citta, the 3 mano dhatu, the 3 santirana, hasi tukpada, 8 mahavipaka, 15 rupa vajra, and sotapati mega. So these 43 citta, they always depend on vatu for their arising. Now there are 42 citta that sometimes depend on hadya vatu, but sometimes do not depend on hadya vatu for their arising. And these are the citta that arise in arupa Brahma as well as in us. So when they arise in us, they depend on hadya vatu. But when they arise in arupa Brahma, no vatu. So they don't depend on vatu. So you can read them. What are they? The 8 lopa mula, 2 moha mula, the mano dvara vachana, 8 Mahakusala, 8 Mahakiriya, 4 Arupavachara and 4 Arupavachara Kriya, Chaitas, and the higher Megha and Plus. So the amount is 7. And there are 4 Chaitas that never depend on any Vatu. So what are they? They are the 4 Arupa Vipaka Chaita. So these 4 Arupa Vipaka Chaita, Arupa Vipaka Chaita, they are included in the 9 Mahakata Vipaka. Remember this Mahakata Vipaka. So they perform the Patisanti, Govinda and Chuti function. While they perform that, they don't depend on any Vatu. So you have this Chaita. If I ask you, how many Chaitas can arise in the Arupa Brahma? What would be your answer? You have to add 42 plus 4, you get 46 Chaitas. Now, we should be glad we finished chapter 3, so we can go to chapter 4 now. So we are ready to climb the mountain now. No? So for me, this chapter on Viti is most interesting. But most people find it to be very difficult. So that means we are going to climb the mountain. But we have already get to the base of the mountain. So don't worry, we just go slowly. Now, this Viti means cognitive series. Cognitive series. Now, the process of consciousness is Viti means a chain of consciousness or cognitive series that arises when a sense object appears at one of the sense doors in order to be aware of the object. As the road passes one village after another without skipping away nor changing the order of the villages, so also the Chaitas, that is consciousnesses, arise one after another in the order they should according to the law of Chaitas, that is Chaita Niyama. So, the Viti means a series, a cognitive series of Chaita that must arise to cognize each sense object. So if a sense object appears in the eye, so one series of Chaita will arise according to this process. They would arise according to the process. So you have a series of Chaita. So that series is called the cognitive series. Or in Pali we call them the Viti. The Viti. So the Viti are the various the cognitive series that must arise to be aware of various sense objects. Now, we first discuss the lifespan of Chaita. So we can read that paragraph. Chaitas arise and dissolve in a person at a tremendous rate of more than 1,000 billion times per eye wing, and there are about 250 eye wings in a second. So the lifespan of a Chaita consciousness is less than 1,000 billionths of a second. So in that case, second. So we just measure by the 3 distinct features in the arising and dissolving of the Chaita. So we give you below the lifespan or duration of a Chaita is measured by 3 short instants of the distinct features in the arising and passing away of a Chaita. These are Upada, the genetic instant, Kiti, the existing instant, and the Banga, the dissolving instant. So when a Chaita arises and dissolves, there are 3 instants there, we see, 3 distinct features. So it arises, and it exists and dissolves. So 3 instants there. So the arising instant we call Upada. Arising instant is upada. And the existing instant is thiti. And the dissolving instant is called the bhinga. So these three short instants represent the lifespan of each chitta. So these short instants in Pali we call them khana. Khana. So we say a chitta exists for three khana. It exists for three khana. And this, we can read again. These three short instants khana are said to be equal to one moment of consciousness or conscious moment, chitta khana. So we call these three khana to be equal to one chitta khana. So chitta is consciousness, khana means moment or short instant. So it's better to translate chitta khana as consciousness moment. So direct translation. Now, so on the next page, the lifespan or the lifetime of each chitta is equal to the three short instants we call khana, and or it is equal to one chitta khana, one consciousness moment. Then it's enough for here. Then we go to the next topic. Now, what is the lifespan of rupa? Again, please read. The lifespan of rupa or corporeality is 17 times longer than that of chitta. So we can say that the lifespan of rupa is equal to 17 chitta khana, or 17 conscious moments, or 17 into 3, equal to 51 short instants of khana. As there are 3 short instants in a moment of consciousness. So note that the rupa is 17 times, its lifespan is 17 times longer than that of the chitta. Now, here you have the difference between chitta and rupa. The chitta arises only one at a time. No two chitta will arise at the same time. Now, not only one chitta arises at a time, and after it arises, it exists just a very short moment. We call one khana. A very short moment and dissolve. So the same with the next chitta. So it would be very difficult to observe the chitta. So normally we are not aware. We cannot see the chitta. Now for the rupa, many rupa entities can arise simultaneously. And after they arise, you will see they will exist for 17 conscious moments. 17 conscious moments. During this existence, no rupa can arise in every short instant, khana. At every khana, the rupa keep arising. So you can see many rupa can accumulate, can get together. So rupa can grow to very, very big objects, as big as our earth or the sun. Then we can see the rupa, because many rupa particles can accumulate. They have the chance to accumulate. Now the rupa, you should know that they also have 3 features in their arising and dissolving. So we'll say the rupa arises, upada again. Then it exists, we call that thiti. And then it dissolves, we call it bhinga, dissolve. Now, the arising moment takes just one khana, one instant, short instant. And the dissolving moment also takes only one khana, one khana. So what would be the duration of existence? So the total lifespan is 17 chitta khana. If you multiply by 3, you get 51 khana. The small instant is called khana. Now there's one khana for arising and one khana for dissolving. So what would be the duration of existing? 51 minus 2, that means 49 khana. 49 khana, they can exist. Okay. So, now we can see the rupa. Now, the next paragraph is quite interesting, I think. Now, this rupa also arises and dissolves at a tremendous rate of more than 58 billion times per second. So, how do you get that 58 billion times? So, we say, the Abhidhamma says, the citas can arise more than 1,000 billion. So we say in the step of the hand or in a wing. So if you divide that 1,000 billion by 17, because the rupa, they can last for 17 tiktakana. So you divide by 17, you get that 58 billion. So the rupa, even the rupa, can arise and dissolve for more than 58 billion times in one snap of the hand. One snap of the hand. So we take for 1 second, then you have to multiply by 250. Because in 1 second they say there are 250 wings. 250 wings. So science today, they can observe that the cells and the nucleus there, they are arising and dissolving. You can see, they say. They can see the arising and dissolving up to 100 million times per second. But they cannot go up to, but the Buddha said 58 billion times. But when we study the atomic structure, one atom is made up of a nucleus, consisting of protons and neutrons. They make the nucleus. And electrons are revolving around it. Very first, these electrons are revolving about half the speed of light, they say. Half the speed of light. So the light can travel 186,000 the miles per second. So with that half speed, and the atom is very small. So if electron are walking in that small space with that great speed, so how many revolutions in 1 second? So it will amount to 58 billion. 58 billion. So that means the atom is changing. 58 billion times that you can see, because its moving is changing. So the Buddha says correct. Okay, then we go to the next topic. We say 6 types of vijnana again. So now we are trying to classify the citta, 89 cittas again. Based on the 6 sense law. Based on the 6 sense law. So we get 6 types of citta now. Now what are they? You just look at the one. Chakku vijnana, that represents the 2-eye consciousness. Sota vijnana, the 2-ear consciousness. Ghana vijnana, the 2-nose consciousness. Jiva vijnana, the 2-tongue consciousness. Kaya vijnana, the 2-body consciousness. And mano vijnana, the 79 mind consciousness. So this is another way of classifying. Just before we classify them into 7 vijnana dhatu. Now when we classify them as vijnana dhatu, the 2-eye consciousness is taken as chakku vijnana dhatu. So the same like the chakku vijnana here. Sota vijnana dhatu would be the same as sota vijnana. But here the mano vijnana would be equal to the 3 mano dhatu plus the 76 mano vijnana dhatu. I think you already forget about the mano dhatu and mano vijnana dhatu. So if you forget it, you just turn on page 118. There you can see the 6 and 7. The mano dhatu and mano vijnana dhatu. So these 2 dhatu are now taken as mano vijnana. So mano vijnana represent the 79 types of consciousness. Now, let's go to the next topic again. 6 types of viti, cognitive process. Now, viti or cognitive series or consciousness is also divided into 6 classes. which may be named according to either the six sense doors or according to the six types of vijnana as follows. So when you look at the name, Chakku Dwara Viti, so you are giving the name based on the six sense door. You already know the six sense door, the Chakku Dwara, Soda Dwara, so you just add Viti to that. So you get Chakku Dwara Viti, Sota Dwara Viti, Ghana Dwara Viti, Jingva Dwara Viti, Kaya Dwara Viti, Mano Dwara Viti. That would be six types of Viti. Now, if you base the name on the six types of Vijnana, you would call it Chakku Vijnana Viti, Sota Vijnana Viti. You can look at in your books too. And number 3, Kana Vijnana Viti. Number 4, Jiva Vijnana Viti, Kaya Vijnana Viti, Mano Vijnana Viti. So you can go in two ways. Then we can go to the next topic again. The causes for the arising of the Viti. Now 4 conditions must meet or must be satisfied for the arising of Chakku Dwara Viti. Now these are Chakku Pasada, that is the eyeball, must be good. So if your Chakku Pasada is not good, you mean you are blind. You are blind, you cannot see. So your Chakku Pasada must be good to see. And number 2, Rupa Ramana, that means visible object must be present to see it. And number 3, Aloka, the light must be present. It is completely dark, we cannot see them. So we know these 3 must be present. But number 4 is very particular. Again, we say Manasikara, the attention must be present. So though the visible object appear in the eye, if you don't pay attention to them, you are not aware of them. So the Manasikara, paying attention, must be present. Again, let's go to number 2. 4 conditions for the arising of Sota Dwara Viti. Now 1, Sota Pasada, the ear door must be good. Saddha Ramana, the sound must be present. Akasa, space, for the passing of sound must be present. So we know that the sound is carried by air. It is carried by air molecule. And that air molecule, they must strike the eardrum in order to be aware of the sound there. So if you stay in a soundproof room where the air cannot enter you, you will not hear the sound. So you need the space for the air to travel to your ear so that you can hear it. And number 3, again, you need the Manasikara, the attention. Now, if you go to the next row, it will be the same thing. Now, for number 3, for the arising of Kana Dwara Viti, we say you need Kana Pasada to be good, and the Kana Ramana, the smell must be present, and Vayo, the air element that carries the smell, must be present, and Manasikara must be present. So you can agree with that. Now, how about the 4 conditions that are required for the arising of Jiva Dwara Viti? Jiva Pasada, the tongue door must be good. Rasa Ramana, the taste must be present. Other liquid element, such as saliva, must be present. And I appreciate that statement, because we know that when we eat something, that something must dissolve in saliva. Only then the saliva will be in contact with the taste buds, the taste nuts there. We call them the Jiva Pasada. So they have to dissolve in the liquid, the saliva. Only then they can get contact with the Jiva Pasada. Only then you will get the taste. So if your food is sometimes dry, it's almost dry. So as soon as you place on the tongue, no taste yet. But you keep on chewing. The more you chew, so the more of the food will dissolve in the saliva, so the greater taste that you get. So the greater you chew, the better you taste. So it is good to chew for a long time in eating. And let's go to to number 5. Number 5 is the 4 conditions that are required for the arising kaya dwara viti. We say kaya pasada, body door must be good. Ramana, the touch must be present. And tatta patavi, the firm solid element must be present for transmittance of the touch. So you can imagine there why tatta patavi, the firm solid element is necessary. So the touch or the tangible object that we call is actually, it represents the pressure. When you touch there, you apply the pressure there. So when you apply the pressure, this pressure must be conveyed by various layers of rupa to get to the pasada there. So pasada is inside the skin there. So you need this pressure to be relayed. So you need the palm tattva patavi to relay it. When you place marbles close with one another in the row, it will push here. So the push will be relayed to all the marbles, the same thing. Now for the mind or the manodvara viti, again you need 4 conditions. What are they? Manodvara, the mind must be present. And Dhamma Ramana, the mind object must be present. Any of the 6 sense objects must be present. And Hadyavatu, the heart base, must be present. And Manasikara must also be present. Now, about the significance of Manasikara, I give you in the last paragraph here. I give you an illustration. And I tell about a mother with a small baby. Since when the mother sleeps, she always sleeps with care, so that she would wake up very often. Whenever she wakes up, she feeds the baby, especially the loincloth of the baby, the napkin of the baby, whether it is wet. So if the cloth that you wrap the baby is wet, the mother has to get up, change it, and feed the baby and let him sleep again. So every time she wakes up, she feeds, she changes the cloth and let the baby sleep. So if she has to wake up several times in the night, so when it comes to several nights, she must have lost much sleep. So sometimes when she fell asleep, she fell asleep very soundly, so soundly that even very loud thunder you get, you get the loud thunder, she would not be awake. She would not be awake. She is in very sound sleep. But if the baby wakes up and cries, so she will wake up. So definitely, Manasikara is very important. So these conditions, you have to find out yourself in insight meditation. Because when we are trying to see the series of chitta that arise in you, so we also ask you to study this chitta according to the 6-fold. Now when its visible object strikes idol, what are the chittas that arise? You have to see this thing. So, in meditation, you have to see these chittas and the citas first, and you have to find out the reason why the chitta, the causes, why the chittas arise. Otherwise, you may have doubt. Oh, how do these chittas arise? Or do they arise without any cause? Or by the help of the Brahma? Or by the will of God? So you might have such doubt about that. So you have to find out the reason. So you have to do this in insight meditation. And we stop here for the morning. Okay? So meet again at 2 then. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.